What is up, guys? Welcome to the show. So, of course, this is the Lucha Libre Rant show only on Peter Buddy. So, get the popcorn popping, get the source pouring, hurry up, make left to right, and get right back out here because it's time to do the Lucha Libre Rant show. So, let's dive right into it. Not a whole hell of a lot going on. There have been a lot of great matches, a lot of great events, a lot of great stuff happening, but let's just dive right into it right now, shall we? So CMLL had a show very recently that's seen Guerrero Maya Jr. Teaming up with Pegaso and Stigmata to take on Dark Magic, El Coyote, and Okamara. The show also seen Atlantis teaming up with Atlantis Jr. and Negaro Cisas. Blue Panther also teamed up with Gran Guerrero and Ultimo. We also seen Templaro versus Titan. All in all, pretty decent show for sure. Nothing great. I mean, it seems like CMLL has been going really downhill since they came back from the whole COVID thing. I mean, it seems like they've been really having a hard time to finding their groove in things. I mean, as of late, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're still, great organization. They're still up there. They still have good shows and everything like that, but they're still lacking something for sure. And really what that something is, I don't really know. I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe it's just booking, maybe it's just, it doesn't feel really great. I mean, even a lot of the critics are kind of putting them down right now, and a lot of the fans as well. It seems like they're having trouble finding their groove, and like, I don't know, they're just really, really lacking right now. And hopefully they get back to the swing of things like they really were before, because they were my favorite promotion for a really long time, and I'm kind of hoping they kind of really get back to that, you know what I mean? In other news, of course, we've seen Cain Velasquez in the Lucha Libre news, which we haven't seen in a very long time, but Cain Velasquez has finally confirmed that he will be back in the Lucha Libre Light, as he is set to make a full-time comeback to AAA around mid-December. The event that he will be showing up to is, of course, War of Titans. Cain has not appeared in a Lucha Libre company since 2019, and personally, I'm hoping this time it's done right. Last time he was in AAA, it was pretty much a train wreck, and it was not done right at all. And I definitely agree with that, like, for sure that he was, or I hope you guys definitely agree with that, and I think you will definitely agree with that for sure. That, I mean, last time he was in the Lucha Libre event, it was just a really big train wreck. I mean, everybody kind of had this whole thing where it was like, oh man, Cain Velasquez, it's going to be huge. And it was just done not really that great. Like, the matches that he had, this and that, I mean, it was kind of like lame. It wasn't really what I expected. It was just sad. It was boring. It was like this huge build up for this kind of like massive superstar, and you're just like, oh, okay. It wasn't really that great. It wasn't really anything, newsworthy at all. So I'm hoping that this comeback is gonna be, really done really well. It seems like he wants to make AAA his home, which is great, because AAA has so many great opponents for him, and so many great opportunities in AAA as opposed to other Lucha Libre companies right now anyway. So we move on to some sad news, of course, as we see Lucha Libre legend Super Porky has unfortunately passed away earlier this week. His son, Psycho Clown, revealed really how his father actually passed away, which was due to a heart attack. This was, of course, Super Porky's third heart attack. He had 2 heart attacks already. He will definitely be missed by Lucha Libre fans everywhere, as well as me for sure. He was a really great luchador. I mean, he was a big guy that could do things that the smaller guys were doing. He, of course, retired many years ago due to health related issues, and they just kind of plagued him ever since. So, course, really saddened about that. That was definitely a horrible news for sure. Moving on, of course, back into Rush. So it seems like Rush is kind of trying to pop up everywhere right recently. Rush has come out and stated that if Andre loses to Kenny Omega at Triple Mania, then he will definitely 100% be challenging Omega for the Mega World title. Now, this will be the match that I would love to see. I feel that this would be a better fight than Omega versus Andre for sure. Just because, I mean, it's, Rush versus Omega would be more really of a Lucha Libre versus wrestler, as opposed to kind of like wrestler versus wrestler or wrestling style versus wrestling style. I mean, because Andre and Omega, they have such, similar styles. I mean, it's more obvious about who's gonna win and why and all this. Like, I mean, it's not really a great matchup. Personally, I'd rather see Andre just lose, get the hell out of there and then bring in, a real, luchador in my mind, and as in Rush. Like, Rush is so good, and I mean, he seems to kind of be just kind of like, losing his steam, like I've said in the past. Like, he kind of went from being like the Hulk Hogan of, Mexican Lucha Libre to really kind of just being like, so what type thing, which is, I'd like to see him to get back on top and on the swing of things for sure. But also, it seems like the dream Lucha Libre match for most people will actually happen, as Penta. Sorry about that, phone issues, but it definitely seems that like the Lucha Libre dream match for most people will actually happen, as we see Penta Zero versus Samare del Sol happen. The rivalry started back 10 years ago in AAA, but it never really blew up into the ring. Like, they never really got to actually have a real full-on match in the rivalry. The rivalry like built up to this huge thing, and then just before the matchup could actually happen, Penta went on to sign with another company. He went to leave AAA. Samari, same thing. He went on to sign with WWE and went on to do that thing for a while. Now, 10 years later, the two might actually meet up in the ring. Samare ended up calling out Penta in a recent interview, saying that basically he wants to mess Penta up, and that this rivalry has gone on long enough, and that they really, he was really just calling him out, kind of just really dragging him through the mud in this interview, which I'm really excited for. Hopefully this matchup really happens, because of the simple fact that this is really what the Lucha Libre world needs to really take over the world again and really get back into the real swing of things, especially after the whole country shut down due to COVID-19. This is what I think it really needs to kind of get back on top, because really before COVID-19, Lucha Libre, real Mexican Lucha Libre, it does this a lot. It'll be huge and everybody will be talking for a really long time, and then it'll just kind of fade into nothing. And then it'll be huge and everybody will be talking about it for a really long time, and it'll just kind of fade to nothing. It really does that every few years. It'll be kind of quiet and nobody will be talking about it, and then it'll go up for a little bit, and so this is what I think it really needs to skyrocket back up there and really kind of take over the world once again, is this matchup. And I really, fingers crossed, hope to God that it happens. Penta hasn't really responded yet, and I don't think that, I think he's just kind of been so busy, but he hasn't really responded yet. But I'm thinking that, of course, knowing Penta, I think he'll actually respond, and this matchup will actually happen. Fingers crossed. But anyway, guys, that's the video for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, you know much, and we'll check you next video.